In a quiet town on Earth, Alex was just a regular guy. He loved working on his gadgets and dreaming about the stars. One night, while stargazing in his backyard, a strange light appeared in the sky. It grew brighter and closer until, with a gentle hum, a small spaceship landed in the field behind his house. Alex ran to see what had happened. The spaceship door opened, and out stepped a girl unlike anyone he had ever seen. She was tall, her skin a shimmering blue, with silver eyes that seemed to glow. She had long, flowing hair that looked like it was made of stardust. The girl looked at Alex and smiled. "My name is Lira," she said. "I come from Zynara, a planet far from here." Alex blinked. Hi, I'm Alex." He couldn't believe what he was seeing. "Are you okay?" Lira nodded. "I've traveled a long way to find you." "Me? Why?" Alex was both amazed and confused. Lira stepped closer, her silver eyes locking onto his. "On my planet, we've been watching Earth for years. I've chosen you, Alex. You're smart, kind, and strong. I want us to be together." Alex's heart skipped a beat. "Together?" Lira tilted her head. "On Zynara, when we choose someone, it means we want to marry them and build a family. I want to have children with you, Alex." Alex was speechless. He never expected an alien to land in his backyard, let alone propose something so personal. "But we just met," he managed to say. Lira smiled. "In my culture, we know when we find the right one. You are my right one. I will show you that we are meant to be." Alex scratched his head. This was a lot to take in. He glanced back at the spaceship. "So, you just landed here to tell me this?" Lira nodded. "And to prove to you that I mean it. I will stay here on Earth, learn your ways, and show you how serious I am." Alex felt his cheeks heat up. This was definitely not how he thought his night would go. "Okay," he said finally. "Let's take it one step at a time." Lira's smile widened. "I like that. One step at a time. But I already know we will take many steps together." Alex couldn't help but laugh. This was going to be interesting. The next day, Alex woke up still thinking about the strange encounter. He had no idea what to expect now that Lira had landed in his backyard. Was she really serious about all that marriage and family talk? Or was this some kind of misunderstanding? He didn't know, but one thing was for sure. His life was never going to be the same again. After breakfast, Alex went outside to find Lira waiting for him near the spaceship. She was sitting on the grass, looking up at the sky with a peaceful expression. Her blue skin seemed to shimmer in the sunlight, and her silver eyes sparkled like stars. She turned to him when she heard him approach. "Good morning, Alex," Lira said, her voice soft and calm. "Morning," Alex replied, feeling a little awkward. "So, what do we do now?" Lira smiled. "I will stay here, learn your ways, and show you that we belong together. But first, I want to understand Earth better. I want to see how you live." "All right," Alex said. He wasn't sure how much she already knew, but he figured he could show her the basics. "Well, I guess we could start with a walk around town. I can show you where I live and some of the places I like to go." "That sounds wonderful," Lira said. Standing up, she stretched her long arms toward the sky, and Alex couldn't help but notice how graceful she was. It was like she was made for the stars. As they walked through the town, Lira asked a lot of questions. She was curious about everything. She wanted to know what kind of food Earth had, how people communicated, what kind of music was popular, and what Alex's favorite hobbies were. Alex did his best to answer, but he couldn't help but feel that Lira was so different from everyone he had ever met. She didn't just ask questions because she was curious. She seemed to be really trying to understand, to connect with him. "Do you ever get lonely?" Lira asked as they walked past a cafe where people were sitting outside, drinking coffee. Alex thought about it. "Yeah, sometimes. I guess everyone feels lonely now and then, right? But I like being by myself most of the time. I'm kind of a geek. I love working on gadgets and stuff." Lira's silver eyes lit up. "I'd love to see your gadgets. I think it's fascinating how humans create things. Where do you build them?" In my garage," Alex said. "I can show you after we finish walking around." Lira was excited. "I would love that." They continued their walk through the town, with Lira soaking in every little detail. People stared at her as they passed by. She was so different from anyone they had ever seen. But Lira didn't seem to mind. She just smiled at them, as if she was perfectly at home. When they reached Alex's house, he led Lira to the garage. It was filled with parts, wires, and unfinished projects. He loved working on his inventions, even if no one else really understood what he was doing. "This is amazing," Lira exclaimed, looking around at all the tools and pieces. "How do you make all of this?" "Well, it's mostly trial and error," Alex said, feeling a little embarrassed. "I build something, it doesn't work, and then I try again." Lira nodded thoughtfully. "I understand. On Zynara, we don't have gadgets like this, but we have a different way of building things, using energy, not physical tools. I would love to learn how to make things like you do." "Really?" Alex asked, surprised. "You'd want to?" Lira smiled warmly. "Yes. I think it would be interesting. I want to understand how you think, how you create." Alex felt his heart race. It was strange, but he was starting to enjoy the idea of teaching Lira. She was so eager to learn, and she made everything seem more exciting than it really was. Maybe, just maybe, this wouldn't be so crazy after all. Over the next few days, Lira stayed at Alex's house, learning everything she could about Earth. She took long walks with him, asking questions and listening carefully to his answers. She tried human food, although she didn't always like it. And she watched movies with him, even though she didn't quite understand some of them. Alex didn't mind explaining. It felt good to have someone so interested in the things he liked. As time passed, Alex started to feel more comfortable around Lira. He began to understand that she wasn't just some alien. She was a person, with her own dreams and feelings. And even though she was from another planet, they were starting to form a connection. One evening, after a long day of exploring the town, Alex and Lira sat together in the backyard, watching the stars. The sky was clear, and the stars were brighter than usual. "You know," Alex said, "I never thought I'd be sitting here with an alien, talking about life and stuff. This is kind of weird." Lira laughed softly. "I understand, but I'm glad we're doing this. I think we're learning from each other." "I think so too," Alex agreed, his voice quiet. "Maybe we're not so different after all." Lira looked at him with her glowing silver eyes. "No, Alex, I don't think we are." And for the first time, Alex truly believed that maybe, just maybe, something amazing was about to happen. They didn't need to rush things. He was starting to see that the journey was just as important as the destination. The stars above seemed to agree, sparkling brightly as if to say, "This is only the beginning." Months passed, and Alex's life with Lira started to feel more normal. She had learned so much about Earth, and Alex had learned a lot about her culture. They had spent time exploring different places, talking about their dreams, and sharing stories about their lives. One evening, Lira sat down next to Alex in the backyard. She looked at him with a serious but gentle expression. "Alex," she said, "there is something important I need to tell you." Alex turned to her, wondering what it could be. "What is it?" Lira took a deep breath. "In my culture, when two people are meant to be together, they create a family. I want us to have children, many children. I want to build a life with you, just as I said before." Alex was surprised but also curious. "You mean, right now?" Lira nodded. "Yes. On Zynara, we don't need much time to know if we're ready. I feel it in my heart, and I know we are ready." Alex didn't know what to say. The idea of having children, especially with someone from another planet, was a lot to think about. But something about Lira made him believe that they could make it work. "Okay," Alex said finally, "let's do it. Let's start our family." Lira smiled brightly, and Alex could see how happy she was. She stood up and walked over to the spaceship, which had been parked in the field behind his house. She pressed a button on the side of the ship, and a small door opened. Out came a soft, glowing light. It surrounded her for a moment, and Alex watched, amazed. "This is how we begin," Lira explained. "On Zynara, we don't need doctors or special technology. We have a way of creating life that is natural and beautiful." Alex was still amazed but felt a strong sense of connection to Lira. As the light faded, Lira's silver eyes shone brighter than ever. Over the next few weeks, things started to change. Lira's body began to glow softly at times, and she seemed to grow even more beautiful. Alex could tell something was happening, but he didn't fully understand. Then, one day, Lira told him the news. "I'm expecting our first child," she said with excitement in her voice. Alex's heart raced. "Really? That's amazing." Lira nodded. "Yes, and soon, we will have many children. On Zynara, it's normal to have large families, and I want to share that with you." True to her word, within a year, Lira had 10 babies. Each one was small, with blue skin, silver eyes, and tiny stardust-like hair. They were all different, with their own personalities. Some were curious, others quiet, but all of them were full of energy and love. At first, Alex was nervous about being a parent to so many children, but with Lira's help, he learned how to care for them. They fed them, played with them, and watched them grow. It wasn't always easy, but it was the most rewarding experience Alex had ever had. As the children grew, they began to show their own unique abilities. Some could make small objects float with their minds, just like Lira, and others seemed to have an incredible connection with nature. It was amazing to watch them, and Alex felt proud of the family they were building together. The small spaceship that had once landed in Alex's backyard had now become their home. It was large enough to fit everyone comfortably, and Lira had made it even more beautiful by adding her own touch to it. There were plants growing inside, and the walls shimmered with a soft, glowing light. Life with Lira and their 10 blue alien children was never boring. They traveled to different parts of Earth, learning more about the world and meeting new people. The children loved exploring, and Alex and Lira were always there to guide them. One day, as Alex and Lira sat together in the backyard, watching their children play, Alex turned to her with a smile. "I never expected any of this," he said, "but I'm glad it happened." Lira looked at him with love in her eyes. "Me too, Alex. Our family is special. We are special." And as the sun set behind them, casting a warm glow over the land, Alex realized that no matter where they came from, their love was real, and their family was strong. They had built something amazing together, something he could never have imagined, but something he would never trade for anything. The ending. Years passed, and Alex and Lira's family grew stronger. Their 10 alien children thrived, each one unique and full of potential. Alex had learned to embrace the strange and wonderful life he now led. Lira's love for him only deepened, and their bond became unbreakable. They continued to explore Earth, showing their children the beauty of their new world. Sometimes, Alex would look up at the stars and wonder about the vast universe, but now, he had everything he needed right here with Lira and their family. As the years went by, Alex realized something important. Love didn't have to follow any rules. It didn't matter where someone came from or what they looked like. What mattered was the connection, the care, and the family they built together. And so, they lived happily, creating memories that would last across worlds, showing that love truly knows no boundaries.